Good morning. It's Tuesday, 9 o'clock and a half, 9 a.m. half of a minute, not 9:30. February 6, 2024 on a Tuesday. February 6, 2024 on a Tuesday. I have audio confirmation over there. And then, see, do I have, yeah, microphone's not muted. Well, of course, I just got audio confirmation. Duh. Desktop audio is turned on, so you heard that. You heard that. Yeah, you did. Oh, there's more people than just me and Brian. How about that? Start a day earlier than scheduled. Oh, did I do this on the wrong date? Oh, good grief. I know why you did that. February 7th. Does anybody know in chat how I made that mistake? Oh, good grief. That's why there was nobody else in chat. So now the notification went out that I'm live. So I'll show you all what's happened. I guess I can't change the date now. What? Really? Can I not change the date so it shows the right date? I guess after I start this show. No, I can't. Okay, I guess in someone's world that makes sense. So here's how that happened. If I come over here to my channel content. Oh, and I changed the number, didn't I? February 6th. No, I didn't. This isn't the current stream. See this one, 10 seconds long? Number 381. When I started Fortnite this morning, I had OBS set up on the wrong profile. So I started the live stream on OBS intending to be for Fortnite. It actually started that stream. So let's see, can I, that's not a copyright violation to show you that. So this Windows Daily 381, which is still public, if you click on that, you get Fortnite for 10 seconds. And you hear, I think you hear me saying that let's see, did I say it? I think I said something there. Yeah. Whoops. There, you hear a whoops. That's all you get. That's all she wrote. So then when I went to schedule, well, after Fortnite was over, I went to check to see if anyone was in chat, and there was no stream scheduled. I thought, what? Why was that? Well, of course, I forgot that I had already broadcast that. So then I went to schedule a new stream. Well, my habit is when I'm scheduling the new stream is that I increment the number up, and I choose the day for tomorrow. I choose tomorrow's date. So just out of blind habit, that's what I did. My ducks are not in a row, John. Desktop audio is on. Oh, I don't even have StreamerBots launched, do I? Is that another faux pas? And so Ken Stout caught me this morning when I did that false start on the stream. And then when Fortnite ended, it came up with a confirmation window. Are you sure you want to end the stream? And I missed that. So I was still streaming beyond. Oh boy. So when somebody asks how's my day going?
Yes, I did.
Oh, he's here. He said he said he didn't think he was going to be here. Oh, I got so busted. I got so busted today. When somebody asks, how's your day going? I'm going to say, not well. All kinds of mistakes. Golfing moved back to 1 p.m. Ken time. Let's see. So I've got some emails set up here. Let's see. What was this? Oh. This was the easy and free driver backup and restore walkthrough and tutorial.
Such a Dowd and not a little Doug.
Such a Dowd? and not a little Doug. I'm not sure. So I think this was Carrie Holzman's video. Oops, can't play that through. Right? Yeah, it's Carrie Holzman showing using the driver backup.
I fell asleep last night while reading old magazines and woke up this morning with back issues.
Okay, Nick, let's see, not quite on topic. I fell asleep last night while reading old magazines and woke up this morning with back issues. Okay. Yeah. So Carrie was showing this capability within Windows of backing up your drivers, and Martin was sending that to me, FYI. I can't see where I would ever use that, and as I was watching that, I was thinking exactly that. I do image backups. Why would I want to back up just drivers? And I couldn't see any way that I'd ever do that for my clients. And then a little bit later on, after watching it, I was off in the kitchen getting, I don't know, dinner ready or lunch ready or something. And I was thinking, well, Carrie does a lot of custom builds. Maybe that makes sense there. So somebody who has a custom built computer and might want to wipe and reload and recreate from scratch, and that could be useful to them to have all their drivers backed up somewhere. And I thought, well, I would never have that. And then I thought, Now, if you weren't watching the video, you didn't catch that visual cue. So then I got thinking about, should I be doing that? But then as I thought it more, that tool that he was using built in with Windows, oh, come on, I'm even forgetting the name of it. It's the, somebody put it in chat. The 4-letter DOS-based command to check all the Windows files and fix them up. And you can use that to back up drivers.
K. Willie Coyote thought bubble.
Thought bubble. Yeah, let me turn it around. DISM. Thank you, Londog. Yeah, DISM to back up the drivers. Well, you could actually use that to grab the drivers out of a backup image, because you can mount the backup
especially
image.
If you were setting up those mini desktop computers.
Mini desktop computer. I don't see that, because the mini desktop computers are like Dell or HP or even the vanilla branded computers, B-Link and so on. Those drivers come so easily with Windows update. I haven't had any struggles with it, so I'm still not sure that I would ever want to use it. But you can use the DISM to pull out the drivers from an image that you have mounted from an image backup. But I had no idea that DISM would go pull out just your drivers and back them up. So now I've got that in my little memory bag, but I don't have an immediate application for that I can see me doing. Now, let's go into this email from me to me from the chat messages from yesterday. Ran Israel said, slipstreaming was a method to create Windows 2000 or XP install folder with a service pack integrated so that future installs won't require installing the service pack. That would have been really useful if I had known that back then, because I had occasions where I had to do a wipe and reload, reinstall XP from diskettes. And I think that was diskettes for XP. And then the service pack was an extra amount of time, or even if it was on CD, whatever. But I do remember having to go install a service pack after doing a wipe and reload. I did not know about that back then. Zavi Manor at Tim's download problem. It's actually an upload problem, is what his complaint was. It was his upload.
XP came on CD-ROM.
CD-ROM, okay. Why not blame the modem or cable between the modem and router? I think that's a good idea, because he told us that the modem and the router were separate, and they were both from Spectrum. So could there be a cable problem between those two devices? There could have been, until we got to the point where we put in the USB Ethernet adapter and he got good upload speed. But it wasn't quite good enough. So could there be a problem with the cable between those two? Certainly. And I wanted to point out that I have had times in troubleshooting that type of environment where I wanted to connect a computer directly to the modem. In some cases, the modem has an Ethernet connection to go to the router. And in that case, you could connect a computer, but you'd have to set a static IP address, because the router was configured to pick up that specific IP address from the supplier. And in some cases, you actually had to call the ISP and get them to allow a different hardware device to be used as the router, which in this case, you'd be using a computer as the router in order to test the speed at that level. So that's an interesting topic. I haven't come across a separate modem and router for a long time. We don't have Spectrum here. The services that we have here all have combined router modems as far as I've come across among my clients. Martin, could Tim test with Ethernet cable direct, bypass the switch to test the comparison? Well, he wasn't using a switch. He was connecting directly to the router. So the only other thing he could do more direct would be if he could connect.
I also back up drivers like carry DUIs. When I do a custom clean install of Windows, it does not always find the drivers, so I don't have to go find them.
Okay, Nick, that I was wondering about that, and that's part of what what I described, that I was thinking that, well, Carrie does custom builds. I don't do custom builds, so I never come across a problem with drivers. All the drivers that I do, if I do a fresh install of Windows on a manufacturer's, name brand manufacturer, Windows Update pulls all the drivers. It never happens these days. And I was thinking that that custom built computers, that might be the situation. So Nick confirms that he does that. So good to know. Thank you for that. Still, I'm thinking, I don't think that I'd be doing it for Big Beast build, because I can go pull the drivers out of a backup if I choose to do that. If I had a problem, what scenario would there be where I want to rebuild Big Beast build from scratch? Well, okay, here's a possibility. Some of you realize or remember that I have a dual boot configuration on Big Beast build right now. I have a second Windows 11 bootable. So they're both Windows 11 Pro. And I created that alternate boot when I was troubleshooting the problems that I was having with Big Beast build. And the solution wound up being to take out half of the memory. Instead of 256 gigabytes memory now, I am running in a less than full state, disabled at 128 gigabytes of memory. I have to suffer with 128 gigabytes. Such a Doug. And anyway, when I was going through that troubleshooting, I built a fresh Windows 11 install and then had to go get drivers. So that would have been useful then. Slipstreaming might also be involved with driving behind a truck or NASCAR. Long Dog, I think you're thinking of drafting. I don't know that that's ever called slipstreaming, but it kind of sounds like
we're doing custom EI installs of Windows Pro on Dell Optiplex Stock on 10s, and updates don't find the drivers for everything.
Really? Okay. That's Nick saying that Dell Optiplex 7010s, Windows Update does not find the drivers for everything. All right. Well, certainly then, of course, you can go to the manufacturer's website and get the drivers. If you're doing multiple custom installs, that makes a whole lot more sense that you would have, that would be beneficial to use that form of drivers. Good, thank you. Danielle saying, thinking driver backup more important for people that like to keep old equipment around for longer than manufacturers would normally support. That's another application. Just about every technique and tool that's out there, there is a use case scenario that it's useful and even critically important to somebody. So I try to remember to think that way. Sometimes I'm too quick and easy to dismiss something before thinking that through. This was a time slip for a client that I did yesterday that I thought would be interesting to tell about. 117 to 124, phone and remote support regarding unable to log into Thomson Reuters. Determine the search result for Thomson Reuters, produce a login screen for a different subdomain which uses different account credentials. Use browser history to find the issue. So my client called me saying, I can't log into Thomson Reuters. I was logged in earlier today. So I connected remotely to her computer and saw her try to do her username and password, had her check to make sure that the password was the correct one. We went to look at her remembered passwords and it was correct there. And then I clicked on the URL that was in the saved passwords and it worked. So when we went back further to figure out what happened, I said, well, how did you navigate to the Thomson Reuters website? Well, she did a Google search and she just clicked on the first search results. Well, it turns out Thomson Reuters has other subdomains that have an extra
Here are the
name
directions
in
for the
front.
driver backup. Create a new folder on your C drive called Driver Backup Open. Up command prompt as admin.dism online export driver destination C driver backup.
Okay, I'll come on to that later. I'm going to try to stay on my topic at on hand. Yeah, so she'd done a Google search and just picked the first one, and there was a subdomain, meaning a word and then period, and then the rest of the Thomson Reuters domain that she was used to. The login screen looked the same, but it's a different account credentials, apparently. So when I pointed that out to her, she now knew how to do it. But that's a type of situation that how are you going to resolve that by phone without connecting remotely to the computer and poking around? I had no idea that might be the situation until we found it. Zavi yesterday saying he would try this, and that's when we were looking at, let's see here, how to compress Outlook PST file using a command line. So I'm looking to get a results report from him. Lawn Dog, generally speaking, Doug, are we doing compression of files anymore? Look, with the price of drive space being so absolutely cheap, I find it not necessary. Are we still compressing files to save space? No, that is not the reason why Zavi was wanting to compress the Outlook PST file. It's not to save space. PST files have their own performance issues independent of your free drive space due to deleted content that is still contained within that PST file until you do compressing. So when you delete emails or delete other content that's stored in the PST file, such as calendar items and contacts, but mostly it would be email. When you delete those, it doesn't actually remove those from the file. It's just space marked as deleted. So you need to be able to compress the file so that it will run more quickly. So Outlook will slow down, even if you have plenty of free disk space, if your Outlook PST file has too much dead weight in it. So that answers Londog's question. It says, okay to SpeedyC, but knowing the terminology of slipstring is part of computing history, even our gracious host, was unaware of the terminology, and that's interesting to me. Well, I wanted to reflect on this comment because I want to point out the computer industry that we work in, hitting puberty with my voice cracking. It's way too large for anybody to know everything. And even if I had known that term in the past, I would have dismissed it by now. As I was going along in my self-employed business with all the clients that I was dealing with, I got to a point where I was keeping everything in my head, even my appointments, and well, this was back in the days when it was DOS, you know, and pagers rather than cell phones. And there was just too much that I was trying to keep track of in my head. So I started really getting good about taking notes, and I use Microsoft OneNote currently, but back then it was Microsoft Word, and before that it was WordPerfect, to keep notes so that I could dismiss things from my mind and my memory and just keep in my memory the things that are currently on my plate and my workflow. So terminology from the past, I mean, I can remember things like dealing with jumpers on ESDI drives, I want to say they were called, and MFM drives and RLL drives, where you had to change jumpers and use the right connector, but I'm all foggy on that. Now, slipstreaming is something I never got into, so yeah, don't expect people who are technicians, even if they're old, to remember all the things that were a thing back in the day, because not everybody was doing everything. So I just wanted to comment on that. And I didn't take that as any criticism from me, Lawn Dog, but you just kind of brought up that subject, so I wanted to make a comment on it. Yeah, let's go to comments, channel comments. Whoops, nothing there. What is this? Baldy says 34 minutes ago. Oops. What was that? What video was that on? It says video. Oh, that was just on that. Oh, that was just on that short little video. Oh, okay. So I'm not actually on channel comments. That was comments for that video. Here we go. Here we go. He says oops to that little one. Greg M. Theo Joe mentioned this speed test one can use on a LAN network, self-hosted speed test to test throughput. Thought of that when you had an abysmal upload speed on that internet connection. That's a good one too, and I think that's this here. Yeah, so when you go to this website, it's got lots of different speed tests, but the one that's of interest that he was pointing out is, I think, number 3 on this list. Yeah, for desktop and mobile. So you can actually put a speed test server on one of your computers on your local network, and then from another computer on your network, run a speed test. So that's going to give you a speed test directly through the network. And I like that. And I might even put together a slam dunk video for that. Slam dunk is my new name for short videos, short tutorial videos. You posted the export command, Rand saying. I'm not sure if that's, yeah, and that's for exporting. Exporting. When did I posted the export command. Did I post something in chat? Or are you guys, is that a conversation between you guys that I'm not clued into? Is that directed at me? Oh, export. Oh, okay. Nick just posted the export command. Yeah, for driver backup, right? That's what Carrie was showing. Let's see. So there's Greg M, thumbs up and heart. Matthew Barnes, I have a question about Windows 11. I had an issue with Windows 11 laptop that would not print. It would come up with an error message, something along the lines could not connect to the printer. I know I read this one yesterday, but I got more of a response to give today. The error, not important because I fixed it by doing something other. I think I removed the printer and added it again. My question is, one of the things I tried was running Windows Troubleshooter for that printer, and there was a message at the bottom that says the troubleshooter is being moved. I'm curious if this will actually happen. As you may remember with Windows 10, when you open the snipping tool, for a while the message would come up saying the snipping tool is moving. As far as I can tell, that never happened. Is this like that? No, I think it's already happened. So let's see if I get to the right place here. Control printers. If I go into control printers.
I tried the GTP suggestion, but without success. This script will launch Outlook, open the specified PST file, and initiate the compact operation.
No, so if that's going to actually open the file, you're not going to be able to do that unattended, I guess. Is the reason why that didn't work? All right, thanks for that results report. Let's see, if we go over here to, actually what I want to do, I think, is go to control panel and go, whoops, okay, control, got to spell it right. Computers, I thought they're supposed to be smart. You should know that that's what I meant to type. Good grief. Picky, picky, picky. Devices and printers. Well, it still doesn't go there. How is that? Printers and scanner. I'll go here, printers and scanners. And then if I go over here to run the troubleshooter, I think here's, yeah, see down here, troubleshooters have moved and this tool will be retired. I think that's what he's referring to. Now, if instead of going there, if you go to, let's go settings and troubleshooters, that's where it's moved to. I'm deducing. Let's get, still not at the basic settings. Get back to settings. Still not there. Okay, I'll go to it this way. Some of you are yelling at me because you know where I'm doing wrong and I get all mixed up and confused here. Troubleshooting. It's in system, isn't it? Yeah, system and then troubleshoot. And then here in other troubleshooters, you get printer troubleshooting. So when you go on this troubleshooter, you don't get that message about it being moved. I think this is where it's moved to. Run the print, a Windows printer troubleshooter. Tell us your problem. Do we have your consent to proceed with the diagnostics? Yes. And then, let's see, did I not go through this far enough? Did this solve your problem? Turn off your printer and wait 30 seconds. So is this what the new location is for the troubleshooter? That's what I'm thinking is happening in response to that question. Let's do a thumbs up and heart on that one. Costanza, just thinking out loud, I wonder if you restart after you deleted Edge regedit key, could that have avoided by closing whatever Edge tasks and services may have been open in the background windows, such as Edge still runs services in the background? I completely think you're on the right track there, Costanza. And this is regarding the slam dunk version of manage, by your organization. That's less than 3 minutes long, that video. And also it might be just reloading Explorer, which is the Windows desktop, might do it. So shutting down all Edge items might indeed allow you to see the results of that change without restarting the computer. So thank you for that. And then Lawn Dog says, I really like this quick review of repair along with your commentary on the repair. I hope this idea is that you're tinkering with and may pursue from time to time when subject matter is appropriate. Yes, that is what I have in mind doing. This is one of those occasions. Personally, and with my years of experience, I've seen the same sort of issuance of your system administrator needs to be contacted or some similar message, and we know something's not right because it's a home version. As an example, I've seen that multiple times. How these things happen is always a bit of a mystery. I agree with that. I think it's some third-party utility or some choice somewhere that you clicked on. It also can happen on other versions of Windows like Pro, but I have seen it. Normally just ignore it. Thank you for exploring the possibilities for a repair. Again, this occurs open for discussion and speculation. Now, I recently showed I think I did a Windows background administrator setting. Yeah, I showed that on one of my videos. And I did not have to restart the computer for that fix to be implemented. But in the case of an Edge change, Edge has all those background services running. So I think that's why Edge needed a restart or end task on those services and then restart. All right, that gets me through all of that. Now there's these tests. Okay, I already talked about that speed test. I already talked about Carrie's backup of drivers. And thank you again for showing me that. We already talked about that Outlook PST compression that Zavi reports that did not fix it. This is where ChatGPT told us about that. And this is the deprecation of Microsoft Support Diagnostic Tool Troubleshooters. This had to do with that printer troubleshooting service being, or feature being moved to a different place. And here's devices running the next release of 11 and newer. Start setting system troubleshoot other troubleshooters. This is where they're telling us that that's where it's being moved to. The MSDT troubleshooter deprecation, including redirection and removal of legacy inbox. Let's make that bigger. Will go into effect on devices running the next release of Windows 11. The next Windows 11 release date is still to be determined. We will update this article when we have a release date. I just had my doorbell just rang. I kind of doubt that you heard that, and I suspect that's not actually a person, but rather a delivery. And I can take a quick look at that to see if there's actually a person standing there or not. No, I didn't get to that. I'll wait and see if they ring again. And that's all of those that I have. 9:31. I don't recollect if I have anything set up for a redirect. Let's go see if there's anything there to read. Nope, that's one of my videos. Ken said he might have a premiere. He does. He does, indeed, at 11 a.m. Yep, I just heard a vehicle drive away. All right, so there's a redirect set up for Ken the Stout. Let's see if I can end the stream right this time, shall we? Oh, you know what? I haven't gone to, no. Hold on. I'm not done yet. I haven't even gone to chat at all. I got to do that. I got to do that. I'm going to go do chat. Before getting out of here, before I bounce. I'm already bouncing, so I guess I lied about that. Daniel Emberley, starting a day earlier than scheduled. Yeah, well, we know. Doug. Dalco, greetings from Rootland. Oh, that's not even the first chat message. The first chat message, according to OBS, was 8:46 from Brian Lightfoot at 9 a.m. on February 7th, Fresnoville time. I'll be watching you. I did not catch that when you said that in chat. I did not understand the difference between the dates. And there was nobody else in chat. And I responded to him by saying, judging by the chat room, it's going to be just you and me because there's nobody else in chat. And I was thinking, what? Am I being, what's the word when nobody will come and watch? Boycotted. Yeah. And then Alice at 9 o'clock said hi all, and Mike Wojcik said hi all at 9 o'clock, and then Ran Israel at 9 o'clock, guess again, and then Ran Israel again says hi all, and then Daniel Emberley starting a day earlier than scheduled. That's the first time I realized it. See, you gotta spell it out, Brian. Saying 9 a.m. on February 7th didn't get it through to me. I'm Doug. Daco, greetings from Rutland, UK. Ken, I am Groot. Audio is good. I would suggest the error was made because of time warp in the Matrix. Not again. Do you have all your ducks in a row? John Londog. Nick Poverman, I fell asleep last night while reading old magazines. Woke up this morning with back issues. Golfing moved back to 1 p.m. Richard Rogers, hello. Such a Dowd and not a little Doug. Yeah, that's right over my head. Was that just a misspelling? Was that supposed to such a Doug and not a little Doug? I think that was a misspelling. Typo. I fell asleep last night. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought I've heard that before. Saying, hey, I've heard this joke before. Right up here. Richard Rogers. Ken got a laugh out of something. Don't know what. This has all been serious stuff today. It could have been worse waking up what is called Naga Claw. If you got that condition, you are in a world of hurt. I had no idea. I got an idea, but don't know. Ran Israel. Yeah, DISM. See, you guys think that I'm just that forgetful. Now, as far as you know, I just pretend that I can't think of what is that word just to make it easy for you to be interactive with the show by saying, "Oh, I know that. I'll put that into chat." As far as you know, that's just a technique I use to improve interaction on my videos. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. John Williams, especially for setting up those mini disks. I don't know if DISM and backups the drivers. It is made to correction errors and Windows files. Wow, your Dragon really let you down there. System files. Made to correction errors system files. Yeah, something messed up there. Skipping over a little bit. Brian is back to future mode, DVR mode. So he believed it. He believed that was going to be February 7th. Whoops, I can't show that to you there because it's gone. So he wasn't even watching at the beginning. He didn't understand my mistake. Let's see. He does that. Got that. Meet again. Speedy gets everywhere. Between Speedy and Alice. I've been surprised at how well Microsoft supplies the drivers for my Asus motherboard. Brian, I'm so late. I've got something to say, but I have to wait at least 7 seconds. Daniel, thinking driver backup more important for people who like to keep old equipment around longer, and also for people who are like doing multiple setups of computers that have the same hardware would be an environment. That's basically what Nick is saying. Custom installs of Windows Pro and doing it on Dells. I also back up drivers like Kerry does, so he's using that. And I think Nick is far more literate and uses that DISM. It comes across the need for it. Can you specifically give us a driver that you did not get from Microsoft? He's asking Nick Poverman. That's interesting. Are there any funky parts in that installation? Because Dell and all major OEMs report their drivers to Microsoft. Can you specifically give us a driver that you did not get from Microsoft? Yeah, so he's asking what drivers specifically is Windows not getting. Now I'll do the optional drivers. The basic Windows update doesn't get all the drivers, but I have to go to optional drivers in Windows Update. So Nick, does that not work? Is it not even optional drivers? Are there still missing drivers from Dell? Here are the directions for the driver backup. Create a new folder called driver backup, open command prompt, admin DISM, online export drivers. See, I was thinking if I were going to export drivers, I'd want to export it to the same drive that I'm doing my backups, if it's for my computer. If you're putting it on the same drive that you're booting from, then that's only going to be useful if you need to reinstall those drivers on that Windows installation. It depends on your scenario, what you're dealing with. I already turned off, those speaker bots so they don't come back again. It was about a month ago. I don't remember exactly, but it was a bunch. So it sounds like it was a one-time occurrence. Dennis watching. Is there a command to import drivers? He says he already posted it. Here it is again, create a new folder. That's for exporting. The question is for importing. He posted the export command. That's for exporting. Here's exporting. I'm suspecting it's coming up. Well, no, you don't, because you don't import them. What you do is you just go to your device manager and click to update a driver and just point it to that folder, and Windows will automatically find the correct driver. So you don't actually import them. But now the downside of this is you do have to go to each driver that has an exclamation mark in Device Manager and Update Driver, and then point it to that location. The next one you do when you choose Update Driver, it should remember that location that you chose, and it would find the driver as long as they've been exported to that location. So you do not use an import command. Now I suspect Nick's gonna, or yeah, that's gonna be answered by somebody later on here. But that's my understanding of it. I wonder about motherboard in that particular Dell Optiplex. Not that I'm the most active repair guy, but for at least the last 5 years or so, Microsoft does a fantastic job. Of course, if it's a model that Dell no longer has the drivers on their website, that could be an issue. But I doubt that Nick Poverman would be working in that environment where they're using computers that old. Use them in Device Manager. Watch Carrie's videos, shows how to do it. Yeah, exactly what I described. Compared to how they originally started with XP all the way through Windows 8, providing drivers they used to carry around in diskette drivers from driverpacks.net to get things going. Yeah, I remember carrying drivers on diskette. Let's see, we already got that from Zavi. Thank you again. There's an add driver option that's for offline image. Okay, so DISM does have an add driver option, but that's for an offline image. For an offline image. Oh, okay, so if you have a backup image of a drive that has that driver, you can use this add driver to extract that or pull that out of an image file, I suppose is what that is. Was looking for a shortcut, then doing them one by one in Device Manager. Yeah, that's a downside of that technique, because you have to do them one by one. It was almost a standard procedure to install Windows, and the next step was to install drivers, especially Ethernet drivers. I'm kind of wondering about motherboard when it was created. Nick says that I don't know how to do. Google it. And is this it? Install Windows drivers from a folder using PowerShell. Are you doing this for individual drivers, or is this the way to cover a bulk of them? Place folder INF on the computer, then install all the relevant drivers. My drivers, recurse. So that looks like it's gonna take care of them all. And I think you would not want to go this route unless this is going to be a routine thing for you. For a one-time instance on one computer, I would just go through each driver that has an exclamation mark and point to the folder that has them. But that's good for somebody who's working in an environment where they need to do that more commonly. All right, I'm way over time. I've said hello to some chat. Oh, Gary Weisenberger. We had a DNS error with Westlaw in January 2024. Westlaw redirected to the wrong IP address. Oh, interesting. That would be another cause for that type of situation that my client had. Not the cause of my client's issue. Back issues was the laugh. All right. So that was a laugh from somebody in chat that had that joke. Gary, Microsoft will have a driver update. I'm picking out that one because he hit me in orange. MS will have a driver update January 2024 for the Intel platform driver. In January 2024, well, they're a little bit late for that. It's February 2024 for the Intel platform driver, but that will not be a mandatory or optional on Windows Update. Oh, interesting. So that's a driver that Microsoft will have for a device driver, but it won't be in the mandatory updates or an optional update. You would have to go seek it from the Windows Update library, I'm presuming. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut down there. I will read through the rest of the emails, and I'll follow up on any of those that I choose to tomorrow. And Gary says correct. All right. There's the email address if you want to send any questions or pictures or requests. That's the way to do it. Regarding show topic, not personal chit chat. Sorry, not interested. That sounds cold and harsh. No. I just got too many emails to follow up on. I don't like doing emails. I'd spend way too long editing emails. Somebody asked me a question on email, and by the time I replied to them, geez, I could have done an entire Windows Daily show. All right, click the button, Doug. And don't forget to click the confirmation that you want to enter in the stream, because that's a thing. There's the confirmation. That's what I forgot to do on 14.